Hey y'all, Rowan here. We're back with round 3 of OC show-offs, this time finally with my voice. And possibly the downstairs TV in the background if you can hear it, and I apologize for that. So today I want to show you more of my OCs because some of them had to be sacrificed in order to make new ones. Although I'm still waiting for the update with the new slots, as we all are, since we're probably going to be skeletons by the time this update releases, I am going to show off some of my OCs, since I mentioned in the community post I'm going to be drawing some OCs with the lore this time, because sometimes I do shorts and then I do add the lore within the shorts, but this time I'm going to be adding all the lore to all the characters that are necessary within lore, while showing you some of the new ones that I've made, because again, some of them had to be sacrificed. So anyways, I'm going to start off with Sandwings first. So this is a character that used to be Sage, but now his name is Bax. This dragon is basically not much of an important character, but he does play a role in my lore. He has scars on his leg, and he also has a scar on his barb. All the pink stuff you'll probably see when it comes to my characters. Anything with pink will mean scars. So, just letting you know. If only they had an accessory where you can add scars onto your characters, just like how Warrior Cats does it, but oh well, this is Bax. Next one is Drought. She's an old lady. She's just one of those characters that show up from time to time, and she's also an ex-member of a group within the lore, which I'll tell you about, but she's just one of those old ladies that would say, "Back in my day, Sonny, we used to have this and this. Gosh darn it." And then here's Black Tongue. Black Tongue you'll get to learn more soon. Black Tongue is an original OC that I have. I kind of gave her a little update since I gave her like more depth scars, and she does have a broken foot, so this foot always stays limp every time I use her. I don't know why, but Wings of Fire always kind of censors Black Tongue's name, but I don't think it's happening anymore, but I'm still keeping an eye out on that name, because it takes me a long time to type down that name. We've got Heat Wave, which, yes, you can consider that I got his name from that song. Yeah. Heat Wave is kind of a Skywing Sand hybrid. I really like him. I don't think these are really scars. I think this is just something because he did get captured one time, so he had cuffs for a long time and just kind of burned them, but he kind of like accidentally burned himself in the process, so he's a free man with some free scars. And I'm gonna show Desert Fire. Desert Fire is kind of Heat Wave's lover in a way, but she's just one of my prettier Sandwings. I'm still determining where she can be in my lore, since, you know, it's still being developed. It's still a work in progress, just like all my other works that I have put when it comes to these stuff, but this is Desert Fire. She's probably my favorite because I really like the fading and the light colors. Now we're gonna go on to Logmoss. I've made a short about Logmoss before. It didn't get much views, but Logmoss, I think I added lore for Logmoss, unless I'm wrong, but Logmoss will get more lore. She's important to it, mainly because, in a nutshell, she's a caretaker, but there'll be more lore about her. I will skip 2 because that is the knockoff Knuckles one, which is just more of a joke than anything. Mudslide is a sister to Logmoss. She also is important to the story. She's just more of a darker color. I remember her previous name was Koki, which, if you don't know, that is a type of frog in Puerto Rico. They're really nice and they're really cute, and they're the size of a penny. We got Mudpuddle. He's a dragonette, and he's probably my favorite because he's got light colors. Oop, I gotta fix that right there. But he's a light-colored mudwing. He's really goofy. I think he's probably more of my favorite, mainly because I really like light-colored OCs. I don't know why, they're just always eye-catching. And then, of course, we've got Swamp Rock. Swamp Rock was another OC that I have made into a short. That's actually probably the first time that I've made a traditional art of a mudwing, unless I'm wrong and I have done something like that in the past. But moving on, we've got Howlet, which she's more of a Mud Sky hybrid, if anything, and I gave her more opal-like colors, if you've seen opal, but it's more like white, then green, then blue, and so on and so forth. It's just like those kind of colors, but lighter. But I think Hela is somewhat in a determination of a role. She's mostly the sister of Lapis, which, speaking of Lapis, here's Lapis. I know this is a common Skywing name. I think someone that I remember before, a fellow YouTuber, has a Skywing named Lapis, but Lapis, she plays a role in the lore. She's more of a princess. I don't know what happened to the queen, but assuming that the queen was dead, so she's probably a queen at this point, but still to be determined, since her mother is probably still alive out there, just escaping all the chaos and all that. And then we've got Sunflare. Sunflare is more of a legend, if anything, but it's a real legend since he had a son, which his son will be next. But Sunflare is a really interesting character that I have. It's supposed to be like this one Skywing that saved everyone, but they still wanted him killed because of how Skywings treated. I mean, this takes back like ages ago, so they're more soft on Skywings with different scales, like fire scales and probably animus dragons, but he's still a dangerous boy, but he's pretty cool. And this one's Stone. Actually, I lied. His son is in 5. But this is Stone. Stone is in a foundation that I've previously mentioned, which if you put the lore together with some of the characters that I've said in the foundation, or just explained everything once I get to the drawing, then you'll know. Stone is a dragon that came from a blood red egg. I mean, not a blood red egg. A twin egg. And his sister kind of is dead, but he isn't, so he doesn't have any fire, but he's still a pretty good guard, and he's also an old man. Here's Turn. I need to add more to his bio soon, but Turn is also a fire scales, but he has the horn rings and armor that is enchanted so that anything he touches won't burn. So if he wants to take off the armor, he has the horn rings that are enchanted. He was enchanted by an unknown animus that he somehow forged into armor, so he's got something cool. So he's just my flame boy, and he's also the son of Sunflare, which he doesn't know because he was raised by Stone. Okay, here's Angler. Angler, I need to give more credit to her because I haven't used Angler in a long time, and she's probably my oldest, well, I wouldn't say oldest, I would say oldest Wings of Fire beta OC that I have when I started. So, I mean, Angler has her own side thing. Funny thing was she actually had a crush on Lorto in the lore, and then Tidepool caught on to that, and he's just like, nope, get away. Angler is a deep wing. She can't really talk. She can only do aquatic, but she can actually, well, she can somewhat talk, but it's not really good. And here's Lorto, my boy. I actually updated his bio, so I added a little trans flag as a thing. And I also updated that he's a wanted criminal. We'll get to that later when I draw him, but he's got a fun little wanted poster that people will not, or dragons will not touch him in any sort of way to capture him. They wouldn't even send like a whole army of Skywing guards, but that's just Lorto. Speaking of Lorto, we've got his boyfriend Tidepool. Tidepool, I already have his lore planned out. I'm just trying to figure out like how he's gonna fit into like the story, because he is Lorto's love interest slash boyfriend, so I'm kind of already getting the pieces together for how I can do Tidepool in any sort of way. But for now, Tidepool is, I already got a comment for a vote on Tidepool, so I'm just kind of like, oh boy, I need to rush this unless someone has another suggestion, or if people want to suggest more, or like a certain dragon. But Tidepool, I think I've got a main idea. I just need to input it. And then we've got Whiplash, my lovely little trash. That you can tell I put Bully by Shadowloom. Tidepool, I mean, Whiplash. See, this is why I bully Whiplash, because I get the name wrong. One time I called her Whirlpool multiple times in the, I forgot which video. I think it was when I did the admin encounter where I got yeeted so many times. But Whiplash, she's short, like really, really short. I think she's this size in canon. She's the size of a dragonette, but she's an adult. But for Whiplash, I already know what's gonna happen to her, and sorry guys, she's gonna die. I already planned her fate the moment she was born. And then here we have classic Parker, Emmy's boyfriend. Parker is one weird name. A lot of people ask me why I named him Parker, and I don't know. I just really like his name. I don't know why also, but people say he's Peter Parker, which Spider C, I guess. Sea Spider, whatever you want to do. Parker here, he has his lore entered. He's not just a love interest to Emmy, because I don't like that plot line where it's just you have a character just for the sake of being a love interest. I want him to have a role to play. So Parker, I will work something out for Parker. I have a main idea, but I don't really know what to give him mostly for the story unless I give him something really cool to make him shine. Here are my Ice Wings. Snowcliff, the old man. He's also works for the organization. He's a fun boy. Very fun boy. I don't know why I made him purple. He was originally just a joke dragon, because I think I made him green, unless it was slot 3 that I made him green. But Snowcliff, I think he's pretty decent. I mean, he doesn't have a big role to play. He's just another elder dragon that's just like, he's not cranky, but he's joyful, but has some crank. And then we have Frostbite, which I need to give her more lore, since she does have a role to play in the lore. She is one of the princesses, and she does try to side with the Nightwing since she doesn't agree with the Leaf Wings, but I'm still trying to determine Frostbite, mainly because she's been in the dark as well as my other characters. Here's Yukio, so he's my icy hybrid. He is mostly a dragonette. He's also one of the rescues from the organization that kind of prevented from being another Whiplash under Duskshade, so I really like his design. I think he's really cute, and I really look forward to making his design or drawing him if he ever gets selected, because I do have a wheel that has all the OCs if I ever need to select one. Here's Snow Owl. I actually changed a lot about her, so I will save the rest for later when it comes to Snow Owl, mainly because I'm really eager to show like what I have for Snow Owl. She's still a doll wing, which if you don't know what I mean by that, I mean like this is kind of like my own fan tribe where there's Wings of Fire dragons that are just like in the shape of dolls, whether that be wool, stitched, or wooden. And yeah, they can come off as kind of creepy, which for Snow Owl, I do have something planned for her. So Snow Owl's lore will be revealed sooner or later. And then, please load. Reindeer. Reindeer doesn't have any mention. I forgot Reindeer was here. This is my winter / Christmas OC. You'll hear her when she starts her defrost, but we're only halfway there. You could probably already hear the Christmas bells ringing already as she's being defrosted, so that's Reindeer for you. Here's Grapevine / Fig. She does have a role to play, at least, which Fig is supposed to be a Rain Knight hybrid, and according to lore, hybrids of any like Nightwing are forbidden, which she's kind of forbidden, so she's on the run, but she knows everything, so that's why she's an important character because she has witnessed what happened during the incident that caused this whole lore to begin with. So, Grapevine, she also just serves as that one motherly figure. So, here's Patea. Here's my creepypasta. Another character that's not really relevant, but something fun to mention. This is Patea. She'll stare at you forever and ever and ever. Moving on. Here's, oh, well, we got another event. OC, Jacko. I'm pretty sure a lot of people have complained that I didn't give Jacko any, spotlight, like Reindeer, because she had more spotlight, and yeah, I need to give Jacko more once fall comes, because that'll be soon, so he's already planning his defrost, or wherever you want to call for a Halloween character. I don't know if it's rising from the grave or whatever you want to say. Jacko will be back and more silly than ever. Now, I have too many weird rain wings, okay? I think I only have just one or two relevant OCs to this whole plot. This is a Ghost and Pals thing, as you can tell from the bio. So if you're a Ghost and Pals fan, I already respect you in any way. I forgot. This is supposed to be Mimic, by the way. Mimic is kind of relevant / not. Mimic was just some abomination that was, like, born. No one knows how Mimic came to be. Whether he was animus cursed as a Rainwing to be this type of demon, or he's just some sort of demon that came here. Whoop, why did I zoom in? But Mimic has currently taken on the form of Crispy from Ghost and Pals, so that's fun! Please be a normal. Okay, here we go. Now we have a normal. This is Vocal. She's a ghost who haunts the prisons, and she does have a tie-in with one of the guards or one of the Guardian members. So I really liked Vocal, since she was supposed to be some robotic thing, and then I thought, maybe I can make a ghost out of this. So this is Vocal. I've made a drawing on her before and a speed paint, which, please give it love. This Rainwing, I think she's really interesting because of her lore. Just to note, she died in the arena because Lapis captured her, because she also had secrets about where the Nightwings hid, so she didn't want to give that up, and as a result she died from that. So kind of sad, but also she fell in love with one of the Guardians, but we'll get to that later. Alright, time for my night, boys. We've got Duskshade, everyone's favorite abomination. Duskshade, I already have her planned. I already know what's going to happen. I already know how the lore is going to be for Duskshade. And even, as a matter of fact, how she's going to lose her face. Because that literally is her skull. I've said it multiple times, but people have been confused of whether that she's wearing a skull, but no, that's her actual skull. Her face has literally been ripped off by, like, all the queens and princesses after, like, her mother and the Leafwing queen kind of got killed by her and the Leafwing daughter, so yeah, that's fun. This is one old one that probably no one ever remembers unless you do, which I would be surprised if you remember this character. This is Ghost Frost. This is Shadowloon's bestie. So Ghost Frost will have a tie-in to the lore, which honestly I really need to give Ghost Frost more credit. She is an Ice Knight hybrid, as you can tell, so she is kind of a forbidden dragon, but she's really pretty. I like her design. I think I'm giving more Ice Wings a different design, but all in all, Ghost Frost already has her lore set. I just need to give her more time to shine. And here we are, my main one, Shadowloom, since of course they're the main, I guess, or the whole drive to this story. Shadowloom will already have their lore complete, and everything else, well, everything's still being determined, so things will come and go as they are being developed, so, but all in all, Shadowloom's fine, so you've already seen Shadowloom long enough, so you don't really need to see her again. Here's Starshade, another character that I really need to give more on. Starshade, she's has more scars than she should, but I didn't bother because then it's gonna be all pink because of the amount of scars she has on her. But Starshade is, of course, Duskshade's sister, and she's pretty much another big villain. Starshade and Dustshade have two different roles. Starshade is the one that's operating and making sure this war stays as long as possible, and Dustshade is the one that's kidnapping all the dragonettes. It's the determination of who is worse, but I think if I had to say, Dustshade is probably the worst. And then here's their poor brother, Silent Knight. He's the only animus. He's missing, but he's also found later on because no one knows what happens. He was the one that delivered the prophecy. He was also the one that delivered the horn rings that allowed to shapeshift, which I forgot to mention that Nightwings have a thing, the horn rings that have been duplicated by Turtle's bull in order to disguise as other dragons so they don't get detected and killed. Now for my Hive Boys. Here's Honeycomb. She is a guardian. She has heterochromia, so she has one black eye and then one green eye. And she's just a sweet bumblebee. I don't know what else to say about Honeycomb other than she's a really sweet guardian. But I'm probably giving Honeycomb more lore and some more screen time than I should. Probably something of how she joined the organization to help dragonettes as well as stop the war and try to bring peace with the Nightwings and try to figure out how this all started because it's still a mystery. And here is Poliosis. This is supposedly, as I am planning, an antagonist that sides with Dustshade and Starshade, and he also is someone who kidnapped Emmy. So he kind of kidnapped Emmy from like a young age and like tried to make him evil because he does have a remnants of the hive mind, but just uses it for his own gain and just kind of is evil. But Emmy is gone and this guy, he dies. So not really much to say, but he doesn't have any siblings and he's just a psychopathic Hivewing. Here's Yellow Jacket. I know this is a really common design for a Hivewing, but Yellow Jacket, she's a young dragonette that that was saved by the organization, so she's just kind of there. She'll have some moments, but she's just a cutie patootie dragon that's just alive and not suffered by Dustshade. And I forgot how to pronounce this guy's name, but he's also important because he's another Hivewing that helps them out. He's also from the organization, but he hides in a different cave just to prevent like any other of Dustshade's, I wouldn't say minions, I'd say supporters from finding out where the organization is. So he's technically a cover-up. And then here's Cherry, who is just literally a dragonette that was saved. Not really much to say about her, but she's got those void eyes that stare at you, which she's blind, so kind of terrifies a lot of people because of how long she can stare at a wall for. Now, here is another one of the members, Peacock. No, I did not spell his name wrong because they are going to tag it if I try to complete it. So this is Peacock. He's a royal Silkwing prince, which they don't really have use in Wings of Fire, so he just kind of does whatever he wants and he helps out. So no one's really going to notice, but Peacock, he's my boy. I really like his design, the way that I gave it to him, but we shall see. Lunar Moth, I haven't really thought of anything for Lunar Moth, honestly. I'm trying to think of anything to give to her. She's probably either a princess or just a dragonette that's been saved by the organization, but that's a to be determined. But this is Lunar Moth. She's another old Wings of Fire beta character that I had when I first started playing. Who am I gonna get? Oh, Rain Glitch. Rain Glitch is kind of an off-topic Silkwing. It's just me whenever I draw or like listen to music while I'm playing. So if you see ring glitch, that's pretty much me. So not much to say about ring glitch here. Here's Harley. So Harley is more of a party silk. He's really multicolored, so not much for him. He kind of like dyed his wings and pretty much like dyed his body all in general. So he's really multicolored, and he tries to trap the main characters so he can turn them in. So he's a party silkwing, but he's also like one of those silkwings that's not really on their side. So yeah, this is just my multicolored crazy silkwing. And then here we have June, which June is Peacock's sister. He saved June from Dustshade himself after finding out that one of his sisters was captured. So June stays with him because he doesn't want June to fall under any influence from his mother about everything. So June is just the sassy little dragonette that mostly plays out the parent whenever Peacock makes a mistake. So she's more smarter than Peacock. Here's Hydrill. Hydrill, we already know about Hydrill. He kind of is, how do I say this? Hydrill is more of an assassin, and he does want to kill a royal, but at the same time he doesn't. So you can give your own opinion that Hydrill either has a crush on Lorto or wanted Lorto or any other sort, but he died to Lorto, so whoops. Here's, I forgot his name. I don't even know how to say his name. I just give them plant names, so I'm gonna literally learn how to pronounce their name. But this was the OC that replaced Succulent. I will see you soon, my child, once updates come out. And he's more of Succulent's lover, so he's also a Leaf Knight hybrid, which those are more forbidden than any other OC. So this is him. He wears glasses, and he's also stressed 24/7, but he helps out either way. He's just more hostile. And speaking of Succulent, just to give you a TLDR of Succulent. Succulent is the princess of the Leaf Wings, and she wants to help the Hive Wing. I mean, not the Hive Wings, the Night Wings, but her crazy psychopathic mother will not let her. But she goes out anyway. She helps them out anyway, and now she's a runaway. So that's fun. He's everyone's favorite boy, I guess, Emmy. Emmy has a role to play. He is a different breed of Leafwing, but he's also not really a Leafwing, so you can determine what Emmy is. He is a Leafwing, of course, but it's not like full-on Leafwing, since he does have animal characteristics, which is something later on the line, since he is a part of a legend too. Kind of like Tern and Sunflare. Here's Mater Curvy, which is basically Mother Deer in Latin, and this is basically Emmy's mother. She has a skull head, and originally for Emmy's lore, which will come in soon, Emmy had siblings, didn't make it in the egg because some dragon kind of killed him. Cough, cough, hive wing, cough, cough. And Mater Curvy also kind of died from that, so Emmy is the only living relative. So her skeleton is somewhere around in a deep, 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 deep forest. And then here is Henna. Henna is a character that helps out. She uses leaf speak, and she manages to track what is going on because the queen does have really strong leaf speak, so she can manage to basically capture anyone using plants. But Henna will keep in check of that and make sure they don't come near the dragons. So these are all my characters. As you can tell, I was trying so hard not to let my voice die out because I haven't been drinking water all day, so my voice is all eh. So anyways, which one of these are your favorites, and which one would you like to see more? Because I have a community post that allows you guys to suggest which OCs you want to see drawn and hear about the lore too while we're at it. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all later. Bye.